Hey guys, it's Bill Soriano, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with Making Wealth Real MWR Financial. I'm an executive director with MWR Financial. Wanted to come on live today here and talk about the final lesson that I wanted to do for you guys here in 2021. Lesson 5, which is the power of infinite returns. Okay, so remember, we did 4 other lessons before this. Lesson 1 was stop leaving money on the table. Lesson 2 was the banker has a secret. Lesson 3 was the bloody mess. And lesson 4 was your number 1 asset. Now, lesson 5 is the power of infinite returns. And in this lesson, guys, I'm going to show you that while it is vitally important to your wealth here in 2021 to learn how to invest like the bank, and we talked about that in lesson 2, the banker has a secret, and why we need to learn how to invest like the bank to put our money into investments that outpace inflation. Right? The bank's only giving you 1%. So while it is vitally important to your wealth here in 2021 to learn how to invest like the bank and invest your money, it's even more important to first learn to invest in yourself and to trust yourself. So the power of the infinite returns lesson here and this worksheet that I'm sharing with you is going to drive home for you today why it's so important for you to invest in yourself first by starting a home-based business. And that's what I'm going to show you in this worksheet. So the power of infinite returns. What does infinite mean? What does infinite mean? Infinite means forever. So that means once you start something going, once you get something going and you start getting a return from that action, that comes in forever. Okay, and we're going to show you some real life examples here of people that you know, people that we know. So, for instance, Sam Walton, and again, this is just a snapshot in time of right now. Of course, these numbers may change, but this is just a snapshot right now, just to give you an example of the power of infinite returns and why it's so important here in 2021 to invest in yourself first. So Sam Walton, you probably know Sam Walton. He is the founder of Walmart. And what Sam Walton did was he started with an initial investment to get started in Walmart of $25,000. Okay, so $25,000 he had to invest in himself. Now, he could have invested that in another company's stock, right? And he would have gotten probably a good return on it, depending on which stock he picked. But he invested in himself. And because of that, from that $25,000 investment, he has a total return on investment, which is what Walmart is currently valued at $205 billion. Okay, so with $25,000, he had a total return on investment of $205 billion. I mean, the Waltons. If you pick up a Forbes magazine, you'll see them all in there. There's Sam, there's Linda, John, Bob, Pam. They've all, have taken Walmart and earned this money off of this initial investment of $25,000. So that's a rate of return of 8.2 million%. Let me say that again. That's 8.2 million%, right? Okay, so we celebrate an 8% return, right? We would celebrate a 4% return. Most Americans put their money in the bank and get a 1% return. Sam Walton, by investing in himself, taking this $25,000, starting Walmart instead of investing it into another company, right? He got an 8.2 million% on his return. Now, Walmart's been in business for about 56 years. So annually, right, if you divide 8.2 million by 56 years, the annual rate of return, the annual return on investment for Sam Walton, his $25,000 was 146,429%. Okay, right? What about Bob Johnson? Bob Johnson started his own cable network, right? Black Entertainment Television, BET. At that time, the license to do that cost him $15,000. Okay, again, Bob could have invested that money into another company's stock. He probably would have did okay, but he decided to invest in himself, right? He sold BET to Viacom for $2 billion. Okay, that's a rate of return of 133,333%, right? Again, we celebrate, an 8% return. We celebrate a 4% return. Most Americans put their money in the bank and get 1% return. Billionaires celebrate a 133,333% return. Now, that took about 40 years. He owned that BET for 30 years. So his annual rate of return was 3,333%. Warren Buffett, everyone I'm sure is familiar with Warren Buffett. He started with $100,000 in his investment portfolio. Berkshire Hathaway is now worth $85 billion. That's a rate of return of 850,000%, right? 850,000%. Okay. He's owned Berkshire Hathaway for about 50 years now, so his annual return on investment on his $100,000 is 17,000%. What about Reed Hastings? Reed Hastings is the owner of Netflix, right? Now Reed, he started with more money than the other people here, than Warren, Bob, and Sam. He put up $2.5 million, right, to get started in Netflix, right? Netflix is currently valued at about $19 billion, which is a rate of return of 7,600%. Again, we celebrate 8%. We celebrate 4%. Most Americans put their money in the bank and get a 1% return. Billionaires get 7,600% on their money. 7,600%. Now, Reed Hastings owned Netflix for 21 years, so that's an annual return on investment of 362%, right? Oprah Winfrey. Okay, so I like to use Oprah here because she really didn't start with any money. We're going to put $2,000 here just for example purposes, but she really didn't start with anything, right? She didn't start with $100,000. She didn't start with $25,000. She didn't even start with $15,000, right? Oprah Winfrey, as we know, started as a newscaster in Mississippi. She eventually became the host of the Oprah Winfrey Show, and then she ended up owning Harpo Studios and the show. And now she actually owns her own network, which of course she calls OWN, right? So Oprah and all of her holdings are worth about $3 billion. So if we use $2,000 just as an example here, that's a rate of return of 1.5 million%, right? And it's been about 40 years now. So her annual rate of return on investment is 37,500%. Now, why do I tell you about this? Obviously, you know these famous people here. We already know they're rich and they're wealthy, and I don't share this worksheet with you to show that I know how to do math, because it's all already written down here for me. But I do this because we want to look at what most Americans would do in the same situation, right? If most Americans right now attempted to do the same thing that these people did, where would they end up? They would probably end up in the same exact place they are right now, right? Because the reason for that is because most Americans will not invest in themselves. They just won't do it. Most Americans put their money in the bank, and if they're lucky, they earn a 1% interest rate. What does the bank do? The bank loans their money out that they put in and makes more money off of it, gives them a 1% interest rate, right? Most Americans will actually rely on their family, friends, or the federal government for their income in their golden years. So they just will not invest in themselves. They'll invest in the bank, and they'll end up relying on family, friends, and government for their income in their golden years, right? They don't have anything to invest, most Americans, right? And if they did, maybe they would come up with $500 over the course of the year. They put it in the bank, they earn 1% on their money, and 5 to 10 to 20 years down the road, their annual return on investment is 0.01, 1% in the bank, right? Now, what I want to show you today is why, and I talked about this earlier, why it's so important for you to start your own home-based business and invest in yourself. And what I want to share with you today is how you can get started today, right? We have a program, right, with MWR Financial that you can get started with, and you can get more information on it. I can give you a link later after this video on how you can create a free account and get more information on what we're doing. But I want to show you today how you can start investing in yourself today with a small startup of $228, right? With just $228, you could be on your way to doing what Sam Walton did, what Bob Johnson did, what Reed Hastings did, right? What Oprah Winfrey did. You could be on your way to doing that. And how do I mean that? What do I mean? Well, if you would invest, right, one time $228, and let's say that you made $228 at the end of the year, right? What is that? That's 100% return on your investment, right? Now let's say you went out and you shared this opportunity with more people, right? You got a few more customers, and you made $2,280 at the end of the year. Your $228 investment, that's a return on investment of 1,000%. Okay? Now maybe you did a little more work, right? You build a team, you help that team go out and build a team as well. Maybe you earned $22,800 your first year in business. Your initial investment, $228. That's a return on investment for you of 10,000%. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know too many stocks that you can buy for $228 today and have $22,800, say 1 year from now. I don't know too many you can do that with. Yeah. Unless you get in the chat rooms like these guys did with GameStop and these other stocks here recently by using social media to prop them up. That may be collusion, though. We don't know. So that may not be a legal way to do things. But I don't know any other stocks that you could get. I don't know any other way you could take $228 invested in a stock and get $22,800 at the end of the year. You see, people, that's a 10,000% return on your investment. What happens is people get caught up in the numbers. They say so-and-so's making $10,000 a month from their business. They're making, so-and-so made $50,000 a month from their home-based business. And they don't understand. They always want to talk about the big numbers, right? And they don't understand that what this worksheet shows us, the power of infinite returns, this worksheet shows us that if we stick to the game plan and the mathematics behind it, that we can succeed as well. Because it's not about how much you make, it's about how well your return on investment is doing. Okay? Now let's say you were able to make $228,000 from this business, right? If you're a national director with MWR Financial, making wealth real, national directors are making about $228,000 a year, some of them more, from this business, right? That is a return on investment of 100,000%. And what if you were just able to get $2,280,000 right, from this $228 investment, right? And maybe it took you, 10 or 20 years to do that. Doesn't matter, right? It's still a return on investment of 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%, guys. Okay, so you see why this worksheet here and the power, with the power of infinite returns, what you're able to do, what this worksheet shows you is that because you invested $228 in yourself, right, instead of another company. Everyone always has some extra money laying around, right? And they say, hey, I got a few extra dollars. What stock can I invest in? They never want to think about investing in themselves. You see? If you invest in yourself, it's more powerful, right? And what this worksheet shows you is if you take that $228 investment, invest it in yourself, and then show others how to do the same thing, this is what can happen. This is what can happen. Okay? Now, would you rather leave your $228 in the bank or invest it in your own business? That's what the question is here, guys. Right? People always act as if investing is superior to business building. And investing is important. We talk about that in, right? The Banker Has a Secret. Lesson 2, I told you about that. But business building is also an investment, right? And if you would get a 500 to 1,000 return on investment, that's okay, right? If you get a 100 to $1,000% return on your investment, that's great, right? But the 1 to 1,000 return on investment, that is reserved for the business owner, you see? And that's what this worksheet showed us. And the problem is that people think that they can get to that 1 to 1,000 rate on investment, return on investment, building someone else's business. And you just can't do it, guys. You just can't do it. You see, people want the Reed Hastings results, but they try to do it by not investing in themselves. People want the Oprah Winfrey results, but they try to do it by not investing in themselves. The power of infinite returns, the power of this worksheet, the power of infinite returns, shows us that everyone we know that we look up to today because they're financially successful, at some point in their life they took their money and they decided to invest it in themselves. And they decided to grow a 4, 5, 6, or even a 7-figure return on their investment. Something that you will never get, guys, if you don't learn to first invest in yourself. Okay? So, that's the power of infinite returns. I hope you found this information useful. Again, if you'd like more information on how you can get started doing this, right? Get started in your own business today for $228. Drop a message down below this video. Direct message me. If you're seeing this video on YouTube, there'll be some links down below it. But just get back to me and I will send you a link that will enable you to get more information, create a free account so you can get more information on what you're doing. Until next time, this is Bill Soriano from Pittsburgh with MWR Financial, Making Wealth Real. Hey, guys.